I've realized most moments don't go wrong because I don't care. They go wrong because I didn't decide how I wanted to show up. I used to think presence was something you either had or you didn't have, something that people feel or something people felt. But presence follows something else first, and that's intention. Not intentions meaning goals or outcomes, but intention meaning orientation. It's the internal choice you make before you enter a moment. Hi, it's Hilda. It's nice to be here again. Lately, I've been spending a lot of time just writing things down, observing how I show up, what works, what doesn't work. This video comes directly from that. The questions I've been asking myself about intentions and how it quietly shapes presence. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to build strong intention. To build strong intention, there are two things that I've been focusing on, and that's your personal presence brand and situational intention. Both these things matter and they need to be developed internally. Your personal presence brand is what you want your presence to convey overall. It shows your core values, your beliefs, and it reflects your personality. It's the qualities that people feel when you walk in the room. It's how you present yourself at work and everywhere else. In order to develop your personal presence brand internally, this is what you're going to do. You're going to write down qualities you admire or value in others, and then write down the qualities that you want your presence to convey. Then you're going to compare the two lists to see what they all have in common. When I wrote down the list of qualities that I admire in other people, the list was very clear. Confidence, being well spoken, integrity, intentional, and mystery. And when I asked myself, what do I want my presence to convey? The list didn't change. That was very important for me to notice because all those qualities share something underneath. They signal inner stability, they create respect without demanding it, they make someone magnetic but slightly unreadable, they show that someone is self-directed and not reactive, their influence comes from state and not performative, and lastly, they reduce social noise. That's what these two lists have in common. Let's talk about situational intention. Situational intention is deciding how you want to show up based on where you are and what the moment requires. You have to align your tone, your words, your actions to match that goal. In other words, it's the ability to say internally, in this moment, what outcome do I want? What version of me will create that outcome? How do I shift into that version? Example, you're on a date. Your intentions might be warmth, openness, receptivity. That creates attraction and connection. Another example, in conflict, the intention might be to be factual, not emotional. So what that does, it prevents escalation and it maintains power. Another example, let's say you're around draining people. The intention might be calm presence and high boundaries. So you stay centered instead of being reactive. Nothing changes externally. The shift is internal. Something else that my notes kept pointing back to was embodiment. How intention shows up physically, in the way you speak, your posture, and yes, in how you dress. Not dressing just for comfort, but for presence. You have to make sure your clothes fit well. You have to dress appropriately for the environment that you're in. Not to impress, but to support the version of you that you're choosing to embody. Small intention lives in small repeated actions. Eye contact, pausing before responding, speaking clearly, and just as importantly, knowing what qualities quietly undermine you and choosing to stop them. What I want you to take away from this video is, in order to build a strong intention, you need to strengthen your personal presence brand and your situational intention. How are you going to do this? I want you to get a pen and I want you to write down, what do I want to be known for? And make a long list. For example, let's say you want to be known for being confident, well-spoken, authentic. You can make the list as long as you want. All these things that you want to be known for, I want you to research what actions you have to take regularly to develop that. Let's say confidence, you want to be a confident person. I want you to look up actions you have to practice regularly to be a confident person. For example, you need to speak in complete sentences. You need to sit with open posture, no crossing arms or shrinking. You need to practice holding eye contact for the first 2 to 3 seconds of any interaction. You need to make decisions quickly on small things to strengthen your decisiveness. And these are just a few things I wrote. There is a bunch of actions you can take regularly to practice to be a confident person. I want you to get the same quality and write down things you have to avoid in order to be a confident person. So I wrote down a few things that I'm going to read you that you have to avoid in order to be a confident person. You need to stop over explaining or giving excuses. You need to stop rushing your words. You need to stop nervously laughing or apologizing to things that don't require an apology. You need to stop fidgeting, touching your face, or adjusting your clothes repeatedly. And lastly, you need to stop downplaying your skills or accomplishments. So you do this with all the qualities you wrote down. I'll read another example. So let's say you want to be known for being a well-spoken person. These are some actions to practice regularly. You need to practice speaking 10% to 20% slower than your normal speed. You need to practice replacing filler words like like, but with intentional pauses. You need to practice organizing your thoughts in headline detail. You need to use clean, simple language, no rambling. And this is just a few things that I wrote down. Now, actions to avoid if you want to be a well-spoken person. You need to stop using slangs or filler words excessively. You need to stop raising your voice at the end of sentences. You need to stop talking just to talk because you're feeling the silence. You need to stop interrupting yourself or switching topics rapidly. It's a lot of things, but you do that for every quality that you listed. You write down actions to take and things to avoid. What you're doing here is you're building a personal presence blueprint. In your notebook, I want you to create a page and I want you to title it My Personal Presence Plan. On this page, I want you to write my core intention, my top strengths, behaviors I practice, behaviors I avoid. This becomes your reference point. When life gets messy, when energy pulls you off center, when people test you, this is the blueprint that you return to. Presence isn't something that you chase. It's something that you build quietly every day. If you're learning to direct your energy, to move with intention, to create a presence that actually feels like you, you're not alone. I'm building mine right alongside you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.